I know that to some people on the web who follows the spirited debates that I have with a lot of financial advisors, I have a very testy relationship with the industry. So it actually gives me very great pleasure to invite my first guest today. His name is Ko Yang and he's a financial advisor with iFast Global Markets. All right, and I've actually arranged the most awkward and difficult question for Yang Zi at the beginning of the video. So Yang Zi, maybe you explain to my audience, how are financial advisors in your field remunerated? Right.
So typically, there are two ways that financial advisors are compensated. One, more commonly known, would be commission-based advisors, and second way of compensation is actually fee-based. So just a little elaboration on this, right? Commission-based model means that an advisor gets compensated based on the products that they pay, that they sell. Sorry.
Right.
So if they sell a certain product, they get a certain commission. So that's the commission-based model. So this is more what we call it, it's more commonly seen in Singapore. But there's another group in Singapore that's less common. These are fee-based advisors. So what fee-based advisors do is that they charge a fixed fee for the advice that they give. So a fixed fee can come in the form of a percentage or a flat fee, like maybe 1% on assets under advisory, or let's say like a flat, $500, $1,000. That's a flat fee model. So I tried explaining this to some of my friends before, and they found it a little bit difficult to understand. So an easy way to illustrate this, right, would be to use an analogy of a doctor. So imagine today if you go and see a doctor, and then there's Dr. A and Dr. B. So Dr. A is commission based. So you go to the doctor and say that, hey doctor, I have these symptoms and everything. What's your advice? So the Dr. A, commission based, will give his advice, and then he will dish out medicine, right? He'll give out medicine like your Panadol, your cough syrup and everything. So how this doctor makes money is through the commissions made through selling this Panadol, this cough syrup. That's Dr. A, and that's the commission based model. That's how the Dr. A makes money. And then there's Dr. B. So similar situation, you go to the doctor, you ask for advice and all. The doctor says that, hey, my fee is, let's say, $500. So it doesn't matter what you're gonna get, what medicine you're gonna get from me over here, this is what you're gonna pay. Right? So that is a fee-based model. So in my opinion, I think that fee-based model would be something that is more aligned to the client's interest, right? I mean, all else equal, we are not doubting the integrity of the doctor, but we just compare the system to the system, right?
Right.
I think the fee-based model would be a lot better.
With the most awkward question out of the way, questions are going to become a lot more user-friendly and relatable. So when I was planning this panel with Yang Zi, he's very interested in the idea of meaning in life, right, as opposed to making more money. So the second question is, which is more important to you, Yang Zi?
Which is more important?
Helping your clients make more money, or helping them, with finding meaning in their life?
Okay, so I think both are equally important.
Right.
Both are equally important. But as Asians, right, we tend to focus a lot on the financial aspects of things. We look at the numbers and everything, and we often neglect fulfillment in life,
Right.
fulfillment in terms of retirement. So the idea of money and meaning is a very important concept, because retirement is not just about stopping work, but what happens during your retirement. So these are things that we talk about, and unfortunately in Singapore, right, your ideal lifestyle will require money. So what is important about my job is that we try to look at meaning, that means what gives you fulfillment,
Right.
and then we try to quantify it, right, and give you actionable steps to achieve that meaningful life that you want to be. So to answer your question, I think both are equally important.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to throw a curveball, right, Yang Zi, because I think that you can probably answer this without things getting very awkward. In the blog I run, I have a lot of fans who self-identify as BBFA, we forever.
Okay.
And I know you probably deal with clients who are married, who do a little bit of legacy planning, but I think it might be useful for many of these readers to say, okay, suppose my objective and meaning in life is to get some kind of a personal welfare system for myself. and I want to maximize the time I have to play computer games. You know, I have no objective of getting married. I don't see that coming up in the horizon. So in such a situation, right, which I think is probably quite rare, how would you, what are the key features of an investment policy statement you think would likely be useful for such a person?
Actually, for this,
Yeah.
it would less likely be in the investment policy statement because that one would focus a lot more on the investment strategy.
Okay.
So in setting of the goals, right, that's
Right.
where the conversation happens.
Right.
And truth to be told, I think there is no one fixed answer.
Right.
And unfortunately, you know, as a financial advisor, what we do is we handle a lot of the money and all. We do less of the life coaching.
Okay.
Unfortunately, there are some overlaps.
Okay.
But in my experience, what I'm going to share with you is it's not professional advice. It's
Okay,
just
sure.
in my
I'm
experience.
not holding you on that. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's based on my experience with clients who have retired and my conversations with many people. I find that you know, a lot of people tend to think that retirement is as an end point, but often it is not.
Okay.
It is not.
Okay.
And there are two key things that I find gives most people I know meaning and fulfillment.
Okay.
That is personal growth as well as relationships.
Okay, that's very good.
Yeah.
Because that's precisely, I think, the problem with the BBFA community, in that they have made a conscious decision to no longer have personal growth, right? Personal growth is in the world of computer gaming, right?
Yeah.
And relationships is also something which they've more or less given up on. Yeah, so that would create a dilemma, but I don't think it's fair to make this the responsibility of an FA. I don't think it's your job to disagree with his lifestyle choice.
As in, I think
I'm sorry I threw you a very
it's okay.
a very extreme kind of example. It's just that my readers tend to be like that, and you've mentioned an investment policy statement. I wonder how would it look like if we try to craft one for people in this demographic.
So for the investment policy statement, it's more investment driven. I think this one has a lot to be about the conversation on like what is an ideal life.
Okay.
For them.
Would you have an interesting story on retirement planning for us? Maybe not your actual client, but maybe for some from some other FA. Because I know you can't rat on your client.
Yeah, so the thing is, I try to not speak too much about my clients.
Yeah,
so thanks
so
for
you can talk
respecting
about
that.
other
So I will share a story on one of my travels and what I realized.
Okay.
So sometime in 2022, June of 2022, I actually went to Australia, Melbourne for a holiday with my family and all. So I happened to be at Melbourne during a time where it's extremely stressful because that was when the S&P 500 actually went into a bear market.
Okay.
So being in this the finance industry, right, the stress was very high. You know, investors were worried about their monies and all. And then I visited the zoo and everything. I see bears also. I see bears everywhere.
Okay.
So it was a very stressful time for me.
Okay.
It was a very stressful time for me. And then there was this place that we went to. We went to a flea market.
All right.
A flea market where they are selling you know, used clothes and stuff like that. You know, a young couple selling, you know, used clothes and all. And then there was a cardboard sign over there, written over there, right? Help us fund our dream to travel the world.
Okay.
So I was looking at that. You know, I was super stressed at that point in time. And then I was looking at that. And then I was thinking to myself, why am I working, you know, ultimately I hope to travel the world as well.
Right.
You know, why am I working so hard to, you know, fund this lifestyle when a young couple with no money can do the same? So at that point in time, I was like, maybe because I'm so stressed. So I was thinking like, wow, actually maybe I can just be like that. So I spent the whole day pondering about this.
Okay.
About this, what is this idea of retirement? Right? Why are we working so hard for money? So I spent time to think about this whole day, and then I came to a conclusion, like my own conclusion, that I think that you know, both extremes are not good, because if you are the young couple over there, while it may seem on the surface that everything is very good, they are traveling the world, you know, spending frugally and everything, but I believe, right, at the back of their minds, subconsciously, right, there's always a level of stress, worrying that they run out of money. So I figured that when it comes to like planning an ideal lifestyle and all, it is important to balance the financial aspects and the fulfillment aspects. And I think in the Western context, right, what I see in the Western world, they focus a lot on the fulfillment,
Right.
but they neglect the financial side.
Yeah, actually, what you've brought up is it's a very popular story being told on the web. The,
Oh, really?
the MBA and the fisherman, right?
Ah, yes,
yeah,
yes,
because
yes.
the MBA looks at the fisherman
Yes.
and he says, why don't you like scale up a business so that you can have more fishermen work for you and you can sell more fish, so that you can rest and relax on the beach.
Yeah.
But the fisherman is already resting and relaxed on the beach, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, I think there's a big difference. If you scale up a business, not only have you secured the future for your family, you've secured the future for yourself if something were to go wrong, right? So the fisherman in the first early stage doesn't have these economic resources in the second stage.
Yeah.
And the story just doesn't run if you tell the story in like Asia, right?
Yeah.
Where people are more communal and say, yeah, but the fisherman is not living for himself. The fisherman has his family, has his children who have to go to school in the future and they will fall sick, right? And spending your time at the beach is it's not a productive use of your time.
Yeah.
So I think we eventually come to a variant of this MBA and
It
fisherman
is,
story in our life, right?
I thought it was very inspiring.
Yeah, but I don't think people spend enough time to try to decode what these stories actually mean. So, do you have any parting advice for people who might be thinking about a more detailed plan for their financial planning and they might be looking for help? Yeah.
So I think, right, quite related to our story that we discussed just now, I think Asians, right, we need to be a bit bolder with what we want in life.
Okay.
So we tend to be very financially driven, number driven, save money and all. We don't really think too much about fulfillment.
Okay.
So in terms of the advice, I would say, in terms of parting advice, I would say that invest cautiously, but live boldly. That means if you want to say like, I want to live in another country, we tend to have that worry, that fear, to need to step out that when we want to, do that career change, we want to start a business, we tend to have that worry, right? Because I think part of it is because of our upbringing and everything. Asians tend to be more conservative, right? So invest cautiously, but live boldly. And I want to end off with something a bit cliche lah. That is, you only live once, right? But if you do it right, once is enough.
Thank you very much. Words of wisdom from Ko Yang Si. Thank you very much. This is our first panel on retirement planning, and I hope you enjoy this segment.